Okay, this is my raw, honest opinion of motherhood and being a first-time mum. I want to preface this by saying I love Boaz so much and I wouldn't trade him for the world. Being a mum, your mind, your body, physically, mentally, everything just changes. Your child doesn't just fit seamlessly into your life before. Your life changes, and you know that when you're pregnant, but it's just so different when it happens. I think lots of mums as well make it look so easy, and you're like, oh, I can do that. I wanted to be a mum so bad. I set up my life to be a mum. It's all I ever wanted. Boaz was so wanted while I was pregnant. I was like, how could I be depressed when he's here and I have this little human that's like half my husband and half me? How could I possibly feel depressed? Mark and I had a super strong foundation before we had a baby. One of the main things I struggled with was resentment towards Mark. I would get so angry that like he's still got this like amazing baby, but he didn't have to give up his whole mind, body and spirit to bring him into the world and keep him alive. Boaz's colic as a newborn, and having a colic newborn is like a whole different aspect. I thought in the peak of like postpartum depression, anxiety, that I had it so bad and all these other mums are making it look so easy. Why is it so tough for me? When I was also in that stage, I read this book, I think it's called The Motherhood, I'll put it up. And I found it so helpful. There's always something to worry about and I don't think it ever ends. It's just the constant mental load. It's like before I had a baby, I was so chill. My whole brain and mind has been rewired to be constantly hypervigilant. One thing my parents have always said to me, which I do agree with, and this might be a bit like controversial, but do not have kids if you do not really want them. Again, being a mum is the best thing that's ever happened to me, but I totally agree with that. The biggest shock I think as well for me was sleep, especially in the first 6 months. Most days were running off like 3 hours of broken sleep up until about 6 months old. Your marriage or your relationship takes a big hit. Postpartum, and I guess marriage in general, it's like you're in a big lake or ocean, right? And sometimes you're like knee height, ankle height, you're just chilling. Sometimes you're so deep, you feel like you're drowning. Sometimes one person has to really pull you out. Postpartum felt like a little bit like that. I definitely felt like I was drowning in postpartum, and Mark was like chilling at the shore, not knowing how to get me there. You do need that strong foundation and the strong commitment, because marriage is like knowing and being committed to the fact that you will not drown together and you will end up on the shore together. So poetic. If you're utterly exhausted by the end of the day, then you're doing it right, really. So postpartum is such like a fickle and sensitive time. People around you will disappoint you. Some people won't turn up because they, one, just don't get it, or two, they make it about themselves. Sometimes I would also feel resentment towards Boaz, which is tough to admit, in the sense of like, you don't know what you've done to me to get you into this world. And I'm sure my mum thinks the same thing about me. When you become a mum, you also have a newfound respect for other mums and your own mum. A big piece of advice as well that I do not stick to, and I wish I did, don't become the expert in your baby, because then you'll become the expert in your toddler and your child. If you're the one that controls everything, to what they wear, how you change their nappy, and you're just constantly interfering with your partner or husband, that they're doing it wrong or whatever, then they're never going to just do it their way, and they're never going to take the initiative. Boaz, bruh. That's not funny. Don't bite your mummy. Yeah.